Yo, what is up, Crocs and Clan members? SoresanCrockxen here, bringing you a new anime review. Now, I'm going to be doing these every time I finish an anime series. So today we're going to be talking about one that I just finished, which is Isekai no Seikishi Monogatari. Now, this anime is a mecha series. It's an anime based, there's going to be giant robots and giant robot fights and all that good stuff. Now, Isekai no Seikishi is an OVA series, according to its page. It's an OVA series based on another series which is called Tenchi Muyo. Now, this series ran through March 2009 to 2010, but even though it was a year span, of time, they only did 13 episodes of this series. Now, the basis of this show is that we have this character called Kenshi Masaki, who was basically sent from what we call Earth to this world, which is based on the other series, or no, something around that. They didn't really explain it in the show, so I didn't. But anyways, so when he was teleported into this world, he basically was sent on a mission to attack this floating island, I guess you could say. It's technically a ship, but it's like a small island in itself. It's called the Swan. Now, he is like the most skilled person out of everybody in the entire world. Like his character, like you see throughout the series, how he's just way too overpowered in anything he does. Like he just wrecks. He can beat anything basically. That's the way his character is played out. Now, according to other sources, he is in the original series and he's in another series. I don't know if that's true. I should probably confirm that. But regardless, now Kenshi is, he was basically captured by the owner of the Swan. Her name is Lashura. Now all the characters, they're in a school in a place called the Holy Land. Now he was captured and forced to be her slave because he attacked their home base. Well, not really their home, their ship. And, to kind of make up for it, he has to work for her now. He's a servant. Throughout the show, he ends up helping the school, and he does way better than all the staff. Like I said, he's just way too good at what he does. So, like, he was told to make the beds, clean the rooms of a huge dorm. Now, the school in itself is kind of a divided school. You have the upperclassmen, you have the the underclassmen, and then you have the boys. All of these are girls, and they have their own special dorms. The underclassmen have a dorm, and the upperclassmen have a dorm, and the boys have a dorm. Now they divide this up because in the show there's a limited amount of these things called Seikishi, which are the giant robots. That's their name. So because there's such a small amount and they're given away by the church, you have to graduate a school like this, and in this school we have people from different countries going in there. So they divide it up to, the upperclassmen are the ones that are more skilled and more advanced in school and are more likely to become Seikishi in the near future. You have the underclassmen who are just entering or are in like their second year, and then the boys are classified separately because unlike the girls, the boys are seen as better, or how should I say this? They're looked up to more because they're so rare. Seikishi are mainly used by girls. So if there's a boy who has the ability to use one, then they're put into this special category because they're special. Now, the problem with this in the show, as it explains, if you're a boy who can use Seikishi, you're basically screwed because they already have high hopes for you by the moment they find out that you have this power. But not only that, they take away your freedom. Like, you're basically stuck in whatever they do, and you're basically forced into any marriage they decide to put you in. Girls can marry whoever the freak they want, but boys, you are limited because they want to be able to breed these high-class Seikishin with a female Seikishi so they could make an actual baby with more abilities. Which, in my opinion, is messed up, and Kenshi thought so too, because he's not used to this. That's not his customs. So it was kind of weird, but the thing is that the male Seikishi then become, like, secluded. They seclude themselves. There's this character named Dogmeyer who's the son of the main villain, which I'm not going to spoil that one. He is basically making a gang over here because they're going to overthrow the church because his father asked him to. Now, throughout the show, we see Kenshi who's like doing all these tasks and then ends up joining the school. Nobody knows besides the crew, Lashara, which is the main female character, Kaya, which is her bodyguard, best friend, whatever, plus the fact that the one that I wanted Kenshi to be with, and then her, I guess, guardian, I guess you could say. Nobody else knew that he has the ability to become to use a Seikishin. So everybody thought he was just this amazing guy who could do anything. So throughout the story, we see this progress of him. He ends up joining the student council, and his main goal is to keep control of the girls. Like, the girls have to follow him around, and he can't be caught or whatever. And nobody catches him because he's too fast. Throughout the show, there's always jokes on the fact that there's these female characters who end up falling in love with him, and they're like all up to, they want him, so there's always these jokes on who he's gonna marry, even though they don't know he's a Seikishi. They're still making stuff out. Oh my gosh, I want to marry him. Which, it was funny. It was funny, but I still was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna be with Kaya, and they made a joke with her too because he had a necklace, and this part was funny. He had a necklace, and then she broke it, so she fixed it by making a string. Like, she wove a string and put it in there, and then ended up, like, she picked the color red. And according to, like, textbooks and all that stuff, red is the color of love. So everybody joked around that she had a crush on him when she had a crush on Dagmar. But that's another story. Now, so I don't want to spoil anything else. This show is amazing. The ending threw me off because it ended kind of cheaply, in the sense that, yeah, the conflict was resolved, but the romance part of it, I mean, it was shown throughout the entire series. The romance part of it was not. It was kind of held back. So it was like left to the imagination of the viewers, which I guess is kind of cool in its own right. But I would have loved to see him with Kaya. Like, that's just a statement I'm gonna throw out there. So that's all I'm gonna say about this show. I do recommend it. I do have to warn though, there are some, it's ecchi for those of you young ones. So it does show a lot of stuff that is inappropriate for younger audiences. But it is a lot of fun. I did enjoy it. Also, it surprised me because when I found out it was on mecha, I was actually very skeptical going into it because I'm not a mecha anime fan. It really bores me after a certain point. But they balanced it out. They didn't show too much of the mechas. In fact, until the second half of the anime and the first episode, it wasn't really shown off as much. So I like the fact that they worked with the characters. So I do highly recommend it. It's a fun show. Each episode is 40 minutes long, so prepare yourself because these are long episodes. So that's it for this review. If you have seen this show, what did you think of it? And is there a specific female character you preferred him to choose? You had Yukine, you had Kaya, you had Wahan, you had Aura, you have Lashara. Messiah, I guess, sort of. So you had a pretty big pool of girls you could choose. So I suggest you watch it if you haven't watched it. Those are the 6 female main characters that you're going to see throughout the show. And they're a lot of fun. So that's it for this review. Thanks for watching. I as soon as this one's uploading, I should be finishing the other anime, and I'm going to make a review of that later. So, just enjoy this. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next review. See ya.